Well, this is a super exciting day for our city. And there's a lot of people today that I want to thank. There's several people who are going to speak today that have been so instrumental in making this happen. But I do want to recognize a couple folks who play a huge part in the work that we do at the City of Tulsa and have been great leaders in our work, especially related to the immigrant community in our city. There is no one at the City of Tulsa who has spent more time on this, who has been more persistent on this than Rodrigo Rojas. We can be talking about anything, and Rodrigo will be like, also the East Tulsa Incubator. Like, yeah, we're going to improve our Tulsa together. Oh, yeah, and ARPA and the East Tulsa Incubator? Yeah. Rodrigo's been fantastic. This is something that, he really brought to my office several years ago as a need that we had in our community. And at the time, the big issue was we didn't know how to pay for it. Like, we knew there was such a need. Several years ago, Christina De Silva, who many of you know, was working on our staff and brought in a New American Economy to do a study of the immigrant community here in Tulsa. And what they found was that in the immigrant community in Tulsa, entrepreneurship is just off the charts. It's at a far higher rate than the non-immigrant population in our city. And so we saw that, and then we also know the realities of competition between cities around the world today. When you look at the numbers, the reality is that the cities that are sitting and relying on the employers that have always been there to just stay the way they've always been are the cities that are failing. The cities that are on the rise are the cities that are creating the next great companies and creating an environment where people are empowered to build the next great companies. And we want Tulsa to be one of those cities. And so you see that strategy and you see a community that has a strong inclination entrepreneurship, and it was a no-brainer for us. I'm really grateful that when we finally identified a way forward, and that was through the American Rescue Plan Act, for the City of Tulsa to contribute our funding toward this. It had strong support from our city council and really led by an outstanding member of the city council who represents this area, Councilor Christian Bingle, who's here today. There was also really strong push for this when it comes to our economic development team and our economic development authority at Partner Tulsa. And another very persistent advocate for this was my colleague on the board there, Ileana Hurtado, who's here today. And there's so many people to thank, and I love the turnout here today. But I think the key for us to recognize is that we have tremendous potential here in East Tulsa and in our immigrant community. And the City of Tulsa wants to be the best partner that we can be to help unlock that potential and help people achieve everything that they want to achieve in the United States and Oklahoma and in Tulsa, right here in East Tulsa. And we believe that this incubator is a key to making that happen in our community. This will be a place where anybody that's got a great idea can come here to learn about how do you form an LLC, what types of regulation exist around the work that you might want to do, how do you develop a business plan, all of those things that might seem like a barrier between somebody who has a great idea and somebody who's going to be the next great startup CEO in our city. Those resources will be here at Plaza Santa Cecilia. And so I'm really grateful that we had such strong support, and in quintessential Tulsa fashion. When Rodrigo started beating the drum about the need for this and we got the city council on board with the American Rescue Plan, we were really fortunate that we had several other partners step up who wanted to play a part in this and help make it happen, because they share that vision for what East Tulsa can be. And the first of those folks, and I'm going to introduce each of them as we go along, but the first of them that I want to introduce is a great friend to East Tulsa, a strong advocate for economic development in our community, and that's County Commissioner Stan Salee.
But no, on behalf of my colleagues at Tulsa County Commission, Commissioner Karen Keith and Commissioner Kelly Dunkley, without their support on this as well, this wouldn't happen. And Jeff Stava and Cynthia, we first met, seemed like 2 years ago, across the street looking at opportunities, and my arm still hurts from Jeff's twisting it off just about. But no, I come a family from immigrants as well, and I know the need. During COVID, incubators, business incubators was abundant throughout the region, and there was a lot of pushback or concern in the county if we're duplicating this. But here in East Tulsa, there was none, and it just made sense, and not just for the existing entrepreneurs, but the youth coming up, the need, and have community and a place of community here where you live. And so it really an honor that we were able to participate in this. We wish you nothing but the best, and will continue to support you. And I just can't thank enough the mayor, GKFF, and others that brought us into this to be a partner. So we're tremendously excited and wish you nothing but success, and we'll be there as a partner as well. So thank you very much. And on that, a dear friend, oh, you get to, oh, well, even better. But it's, again, my pleasure. Congratulations, and we're extremely excited. Thank you.
Sorry, Commissioner, you're not going to rob me of the chance. No, when we think about, what this really symbolizes is the commitment that we have as a community to creating equality of opportunity. We want Tulsa to be the kind of city where anyone around the world who views this as a place of opportunity has all the tools to be successful. And that really, you would be hard pressed to find any organization in our city that does more to create economic mobility and equality of opportunity than the George Kaiser Family Foundation. So I'm really grateful for the partnership and the leadership of our next speaker, Cynthia Haase.
Buenas tardes a todos. Thank you so much for being here on such an exciting day. I really want to start by thanking and just sharing my appreciation to Mayor Bynum. Without your steadfast commitment to Tulsa's immigrant community through the New Tulsans Initiative and your incredible staff like Rodrigo, who has been a guiding light to this project, and Crystal Reyes and her entire team, some who are here today, we would not be here. Commissioner Salee, your encouragement and those burritos we ate, listen. Your advocacy for this project has been key alongside your colleagues and members of the ARPA committee. Councilor Bengal, I don't think I know anyone else who loves East Tulsa as much as I do than you. Your advocacy for the East Side and for this project is unparalleled, and we thank you for that. And we thank every member of the City Council who supported this project. To our planning committee, Luisa and Lian and Rodrigo, who have done so much work behind the scenes to make today possible, I am grateful. And I also want to acknowledge the leadership of the foundation, Mr. Ken Levitt, who's our executive director, and Jeff Stava, who is our chief program officer, who have been supportive of this project since day one, as long as many members of our team who are here today. At the core of GKFF's mission is to ensure Tulsa's young children and families have access to opportunities and resources. We've made investments from anywhere from the birth rate strategy for Tulsa, to the gathering place, to criminal justice reform, you name it. And all with one purpose in mind, which is to make Tulsa the most vibrant and inclusive city in the heartland. And no other time has challenged us as the pandemic. Honestly, I remember coming to the plaza and to these businesses out here in East Tulsa, and so many of them saying, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be open in the next month. It's that reality, that light that COVID-19 really illuminated those barriers that our immigrant entrepreneurs faced. And so in the last 2 years, Elevate East has worked to support efforts like the Mi Gente Loan Fund, which has been providing microloans to our immigrant community, to partners like Tulsa, who is currently housed and actually just next door to us. They provide a Hispanic Entrepreneur Academy, and to the Global District, which has really been responsible for the revitalization of this corridor. But I wanted to tell you something about this place, about Plaza Santa Cecilia. You see, when I moved here 10 years ago, I was worried about a lot of things. Tornadoes. I watched the movie Twister, okay? And there's about to be a remake, apparently. I was worried about where I'd live, about my job, and honestly, I was worried about if I would find a city where I could belong. As a proud daughter of Mexican immigrants, I also wondered, am I gonna find the food I like to eat, the tacos, the queso fresco? Am I gonna find those cultural celebrations that I grew up with? And I found it here at 21st and Garnett in the Global District. And then I learned about the people who make up the Global District, about every business owner, about the people who founded Plaza Santa Cecilia, who actually, she is here today. Thank you. We would not be here without you. You're welcome. More than 20 years ago, this place was started. It was an old bowling alley. And now it is the heart and soul of our immigrant community, of our Latino community. There are tenants like Don Pedro and Teresa, who are here today, whose jewelry store has been opened since it was started. They're just down the hall, if you're curious and you want to buy a Valentine's Day gift. They told me about the stories of the plaza, the posadas, the community events, the things that make this place special. There's tenants like Marta, who owns an artisanal shop, like Dulce Cakes, who's the recent tenant, who makes the best Mexican tiramisu you will find in Tulsa. She's right over there, if you're hungry, okay? The reality is that our immigrant entrepreneurs face unique barriers to navigating our systems and do so much really for our community. And so this incubator will be a place to do that, to be able to get that support and also to uplift the stories of the businesses that make our community the most culturally diverse place in the heartland. And so as we look towards the future, I'm so inspired by all of you who have been here today, by Luis Flores, who is leading the Tulsa Immigrant Community Development Corporation, who will be operating the incubator and providing asset building services, by Francisco and Esteban, who took a leap of faith about this project and are partners, and who have really modeled what it means to have a public-private partnership that centers community in its revitalization. And so while there's much work to do, today's investment in Plaza Santa Cecilia and this incubator is a step in the right direction to being that vibrant, welcoming, and inclusive city we all want to live in.
Gosh, I feel bad for you, man. No, I think as Cynthia highlighted, there's a really, I think it's a great point, which is that the people with the great ideas, the future business leaders who come to this incubator, they're not going to be in a silo. They're not going to be in a vacuum. They're going to be surrounded by people who've already started down that path and develop businesses of their own. I know there are so many people here who I've met during my time at the city who have developed successful businesses in East Tulsa. And we're gonna hear, we're here today because of two of them who are great leaders. I remember when Rodrigo first introduced me to Francisco Barra, who's success story here in Tulsa is, I think, one of the great ones in the history of our city. And you're going to hear from his business partner here in a moment, who is really, if it weren't for him, we would not be here celebrating today, Esteban Torres.
Well, so thank you everyone for being here. I will just introduce myself as Esteban Torres from Key Plus Properties. It's a pleasure to be here today to say thank you to the City of Tulsa, GT Bynum, Mayor Tulsa, and Commissioner, County Commissioner, Mr. Stanley. Also, Cynthia Hassel for the Family Kaiser Foundation, Rodrigo Rojas. I want to say thank you every person working this project. And what I can say, let's continue working together. And thank you for the partnership with the City of Tulsa and the Kaiser Foundation. I want to introduce my partner in business, Francisco from Supermercado Morelos.
Me tocó la parte más pesada. Buenas tardes a todos. Es un honor para nosotros estar aquí para compartir una noticia emocionante que destaca el poder de la colaboración y la visión compartida en nuestra comunidad. La ciudad de Tulsa, en asociación con George Kaiser Foundation y el Condado de Tulsa, harán esta inversión histórica para la creación de una incubadora de negocios en el este de Tulsa, Plaza Santa Cecilia.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor for us to be here to share exciting news that highlights the power of collaboration and shared vision in our community. The City of Tulsa, in partnership with the George Kaiser Family Foundation and Tulsa County, will make this historic investment for the creation of a business incubator in East Tulsa, Plaza Santa Cecilia.
Plaza Santa Cecilia no solo será una incubadora de negocios, sino también experimentará una remodelación total para ofrecer mejores espacios a los negocios y restaurantes que conforman actualmente esta plaza. La renovación no solo embellecerá el lugar, sino que también creará un entorno propicio para el crecimiento empresarial y la interacción comunitaria.
Plaza Santa Cecilia will not only be a business incubator, but will also undergo a complete renovation to provide better spaces for the businesses and restaurants currently making up this plaza. The renovation will not only beautify the place, but also create a conducive environment for business growth and community interaction.
Agradecemos a la ciudad de Tulsa, representada aquí por el mayor GT Bynum, George Kaiser Foundation y el comisionado del Condado de Tulsa y todos los involucrados por su apoyo inquebrantable en este viaje. Esta colaboración demuestra que cuando unimos fuerzas podemos lograr cambios significativos y transformar nuestros sueños en realidades palpables.
We appreciate the City of Tulsa, the George Kaiser Family Foundation, Tulsa County, and all those involved for their continued support on this journey. This collaboration demonstrates that when we join forces, we can achieve significant changes and turn our dreams into tangible realities.
Esta iniciativa es posible gracias a la unión de esfuerzos entre mi socio Esteban y yo, que estamos convencidos de que Plaza Santa Cecilia, siendo el punto de destino más importante y con mayor tradición, tenía que seguir vivo. Entonces decidimos invertir. Ahora nos enorgullece ser parte integral de este proyecto innovador.
This initiative has been made possible through the combined efforts of Esteban Torres from Key Plus Properties and Francisco Ibarra, CEO of Supermercado Morelos. Convinced that Plaza Santa Cecilia, as the most important and tradition-rich destination, had to remain alive, we decided to invest. Now we take pride in being an integral part of this innovative project.
Invitamos a la comunidad a unirse a nosotros en este emocionante viaje. Juntos estamos construyendo un futuro brillante y próspero para el este de Tulsa. Muchas gracias.